Hi there, how are you doing today? I thought I'd talk about rents, right? So, everyone's supposed to not be able to pay their rent, and landlords are going to lose their properties, and tenants are going to stay in their homes and not get evicted and live there for free. And so that's something we've been hearing a lot about in the media. But what's funny is even with all those doom and gloom predictions, what we're seeing is renters paid 86.9% of their rents in August. That's off 2% from a year ago during a booming economy. So we didn't see that. So why? Well, we had the $600 a week, which definitely made a big difference for a lot of people. For some, it was more than they were making before. But once that kind of ended, everyone thought that we were going to see tons of people not paying their rent anymore, and that just simply hasn't happened. In fact, by and large, they've paid up. So, and what it mentions here is that you got to remember, still 90% of the people are still working. So even though we do have horrible unemployment and there are too many people that are out of work, you still got 90% that are working and that are paying their bills. And to go further, just kind of off track of it, most of those are the ones that own their homes. So when you talk about waiting for that landslide of foreclosures to hit, I don't know if it's going to happen. So what is the exception though? It's the vulnerable renters that are the exception, right? The ones that are in those industries that are hardest hit by this shutdowns and the COVID-19 ramifications. So they've seen decline in affordable housing properties, that their number's down to like 76%. But meantime, what we saw when we saw the $600 a week and we saw the shutdown, what we saw was a bunch of people held on to their money, and they're saving money more than they ever were. In fact, before, in February, they were saving 8.3% of their income, and in April, when things kind of hit the fan, they went up to 33% of their income they were saving. So a lot of people have money, maybe that's going away, but they did. They had a cushion there, and so they were able to keep paying their rent. And then the other thing is, people want to pay. Many tenants, if they're happy where they live, they don't want to risk losing that opportunity to live there. So they want to pay. They want to be good people. They want to be responsible people. They want to pay their rent, live in their homes, and everybody be happy. So the number's fairly insignificant for most. And then in some of those areas where tenants are struggling to pay their rent, like the high rises, the urban areas where people are moving out, those owners have tried to incentivize their tenants. They give them they waive late fees, they allow credit card payments, they offer payment plans. They're doing things to try to keep those tenants in those units. And then actually, fewer than 3% of tenants availed themselves to those plans. So again, 97% didn't even ask for that type of help. And then others are moving out or doubling up, right? So they're moving either back home with mom and dad, or they're getting a roommate, they're saving money that way. And there's a lot of differences in today. People aren't commuting as much, or some people aren't. So that gives them the flexibility to move to a different place where they can pay their rent. And then the market's posting the largest declines, like I said, at the urban San Jose, San Francisco here on the West Coast. And the other thing is that a lot of those big, huge complexes that offer so many great amenities, well, none of those amenities are open. You can't use the workout room. You can't go down and socialize in the theater or whatever the thing has, whether it's a workout, a pool, all those things. They're just closed. And then, of course, you have state and city benefits. And those numbers are very small in comparison to what the Fed did, but they helped ease the pain and have people continue to be able to pay their rent. So the bottom line is that people are paying their rent much better, much more reliably than anyone ever anticipated when we first started suffering from this COVID situation.